Welcome. Appreciate you checking out this video. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out 19. Got another Cheryl Miller video for you, and I think it's really important to do this. I know some people don't like when we get into this type of stuff, but the response to her and what she said about Caitlin Clark has been absolutely vile, disgusting, low life nonsense. I really just want to address it a little bit, give you an idea of what Cheryl is dealing with. First, just as a reminder, I'm not going to play as much as I did yesterday, but I want to play the first 30 seconds or so to get you to understand that what I'm going to show you is this is what it's in response to, which is absolutely wild.
I'm gonna be honest because it needs to be said. I can relate to that young lady, and I felt for her.
Mhm.
I know what it's like to be hated. I know what it's like to be a black woman and hated because of my
The skin.
color.
Yeah.
I can't imagine this young lady, not I don't want to use hate, but despised.
Mhm.
And people just having, I mean, and look, I mean, she brought some on herself a little bit because she's cocky for a good reason.
Mhm.
And I love that about her. But to watch the dynamics and the media, they had their narrative.
Mhm.
And I was pleased and proud to see the narrative wasn't the truth.
Right.
Now, for that, for those comments of, hey, I kind of feel bad for Caitlin Clark for what she had to deal with. And I was pleasantly surprised in getting to know her better that the media narrative about her was untrue. Simply for saying that, they have tried to destroy Cheryl Miller, bless her heart for not being on social media because they're gone after her hard. This has caused an absolute meltdown from the old guard WNBA fans. And also, I think this is a great example of showing you that it's not about basketball for the WNBA fans. It never has been. It's been an NBA charity, it's been a crap product, but it's been about the club. And if you adhere to every single point of that club, you are loved. If you misstep one little thing, you are gone. And Cheryl misstepping about Caitlin Clark in this instance, yeah, they didn't like that. Now, for you and me, reasonable people, even reasonable people that aren't Caitlin Clark fans, are not going to have a problem at all with what Cheryl says. You might disagree with her, that's fine, but you're not going to lose your mind. Yet they have absolutely lost their mind. And I just want to show you a few things that we'll go over. And I'm not going to show you multiple ones like this, so we'll go over a few because, it gets redundant, but this is not the only one saying this. This is in response to that video. Not her making Cece a victim and comparing her to black women experience. Cheryl Miller definitely still, and yes, that is an emoji of a raccoon. So if you take out the beginning of the word, that is what she is calling Cheryl Miller. That is a disgusting, vile slur. And you can see definitely still raccooning for white people like her brother. And this is where they made the shift, right? Clark wasn't hated on in the media. They worship her. She's out here trying to change the narrative of history after we saw it. That is 100% not true. See, now they shifted the goalpost. They're mad at Cheryl Miller and they're throwing these slurs at her. And now they're going to tell you, try and rewrite history and say, oh no, it's the fans. It's the fans. No one ever didn't like Caitlin Clark. The media loved her. The fans love her. The players love her. We had here's another one for you. It's so many things wrong about this. It ain't even funny. I don't know what's wrong with it. And I won't get into other things she posts because again, great example right here of it's not about the basketball, never has been. Now, also the point that I want to make, and I look, I get on here to do research because it is a crazy place and you can get time sucked into just a bunch of nastiness. But I couldn't help but respond to this with something very specific. I said, now, remember to respect the legends who built the game because didn't we keep hearing that? And I think I'll show it to you in another comment. It was always about it's great that you like Caden, but you should be talking about all the other players. You should know the history of the entire league and know every good player's names and how they built the league, and you should worship them and on and on. Well, they don't seem to be doing that with Cheryl, who is the legend. 105 points in a game, the legend. Okay. By the way, this comment, now, remember to respect the legends who built the game. Well, I can't reply back because the author has blocked me. They they talk so tough with so much hate and bigotry, but they're such soft, soft snowflakes. And then a couple more I'll go through real quick here for you. Um, Black women made basketball great, and we accepted the white women who could really ball. It hasn't been great, or people would watch it. Just saying, people would watch it if it was great. Um, Nobody has a problem with the previous white women in the game. Well, that's debatable when you hear about things like Sabrina Ionescu went through and Kelsey Plum went through, and again, it's not. It sounds wild, but showing you what I just did, what they're calling Cheryl Miller tells you it's not completely about tan levels. It's about the belief system and the narrative. Because a great example I'll give here is someone who, same color, Candace Wiggins was bullied out of the league just for her the preferences in terms of the company that she liked to keep, but that was not acceptable. And here I go again, of course, predictable as the sun and moon, the ist white fan base that came with her turned this into something other than it was. Nike and other sponsors running behind her as if she does something unseen in the sport is absurd. Shout out to the B women who constantly pave the way without recognition or financial gain. True ballers know what it is. You're not a true baller, and I doubt you can name the leagues. And by the way, they didn't pave the way. The men in the NBA paved the way. You can be upset with that all you want, and we can say, yeah, it's great the women got an opportunity, but here we are 3 decades later, and the NBA is still paying for it. By the way, about the Nike has done nothing for Caitlin Clark. They have bent over for Asia Wilson and bent over for Juju Watkins, and they've done nothing for Caitlin Clark. So this is, of course, absolutely gibberish. And then we get, another one, same thing. Here's what I mean. We hate how people made her Christopher Columbus of women's basketball without acknowledging greatness came before her. Greatness like Cheryl Miller, that kind of greatness. We hate how people packed out Iowa basketball and said it was about basketball when it was about whiteness for so many of them, which of course gibberish. That reminds me, I want to go back up to this other one too about yeah, there were better players in college. That's not true. Better players in the W. We know that's for the most part not true. Fourth in MVP voting as a rookie, first team all WNBA. No one hated Cece. Everyone hated the clan of fans she brought with her. And there's a lot more. So I want to close this up though, just to shout out, just in case anyone forgot. We have things like this. Clark told police she feared for her safety and altered her appearance in public after receiving the messages on X. I believe that's about the stalker that was actually arrested, as opposed to, all the fake threats other people get. Then there was this. I know Caitlin hate to see blank coming with, as you can see in the picture, and they put a picture of Dejanay being the one that did it. F. Caitlin Clark coming in with her white cracker behind, thinking she can run this league. The Black Queens run it. F out of here and take your fans with you. Great white nothing. Left my LMAO, effing white witches, thinking they can ball die. That was back in when we all knew Caitlin was balling out already because that was the end of the season. Uh, Got a couple more though. He didn't just call her a C four-letter word. He also had said he hopes she falls and breaks her neck, among other things. Then he got to go back to his seat, then bragged about it to other Suns fans around. I sat behind them. That is the guy that got kicked out of the Sun um, Fever game. And yeah, there's more. Antonio Brown, yes, the former NFL player. Caitlin Clark looks like she keep it hairy, and he said so many other things. And then when she finally blocked him, cracker of the day, blocked by cousin It. They've called her a school, you know what? They call her a man all the time. I hope they batter Cece every time her cracker 250s touch a basketball court. I hope Caitlin Clark gets injured and ruin white people's day for life.
Not going to
And
excuse it the
then,
way
yeah, that was the last one because that's a video we don't have to get into. But yeah, so I wanted to do this because I just, this stuff makes me sick, quite honestly, and it has no place in the league. And really, the WNBA is going to be so much better off when the 11 or 12 old guard fans disappear. And I mean disappear by just not being involved in the league anymore. Don't get it twisted. I know some of you will. But as you can see, so now they've come out with the slurs. They're going all in on going after Cheryl Miller. Doesn't matter her tan level because she went off the reservation and said something that she should not say. It's unacceptable. You can't have any difference of opinion. And again, I'm going to wrap it up there, but I think pushing back's important. We won't change minds of the people being pushed back against 100%. I mean, you saw some calling her a what, I mean, it's absurd. Well, we might change the minds of those coming after, those who have not yet made up their own minds. But if all they hear is all this other crap, just like Cheryl alluded to with the media narrative, if that's all they hear, that's what they end up believing, and then there'll be another lost cause, and it just gets worse. It's like if there had never been pushback of Cheryl Swoops and people just went Gilbert Arenas and listened to Cheryl with all her lies about Caitlyn being 25 and playing 6 years and taking 40 shots, and there was no other source to say, you know what, this isn't true, they would believe that and they would go with that, and it would impact their thoughts, decisions, and opinions with regard to the WNBA. But I'm so sick of this type of crap. This stuff really pisses me off. Cheryl Miller doesn't deserve this. And look, I'll leave it with this. Cheryl Miller and I probably have a lot of different political opinions, and we probably have some same ones too. But I bet even with different opinions, Cheryl Miller and I could sit down and have a fucking conversation, which just seems to be very difficult today. Because Cheryl Miller is a nice, reasonable, decent human being. And this is the stuff that she's getting simply for a reasonable opinion on Caitlin Clark. And it's ridiculous. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you checking this out. Like, comment, subscribe. I will talk to you later.